It was one of those beautiful spring mornings when the bright sunshine broke the sky. It was long overdue, after a long cold winter, and that was all it took to get George Woodworth and Molly, the family pet, to get out and about. A little yard work around the house, amongst other passions, helps the adrenaline flowing.
I love woodworking. I love helping people. I like dealing with people. I love crowds. I like country music and driving.
Any other passions?
I love playing rugby.
That was. Until one terrible night at the end of North Tay Road, in Tay Creek, New Brunswick. At the prime age of 34, everything almost came crashing down.
In 2007, I went hunting raccoons on a Saturday night with the guy who lived next door when I lived out in Tay Creek. And to make a long story short, against his advice, I climbed up a tree and a branch broke off under my foot and I landed on my back, and there was a rock under the back of my neck and I broke my skull, and the spinous processes off of C5, 6, and 7. And the swelling cut off the blood circulation to my spinal cord and a little piece of it died.
The story got worse. George was in a coma until Wednesday. His mother informed him that his grandmother passed away the day before. And then, the bombshell.
When I found out that I was hurt, that I was paralyzed from the chest down, I felt really depressed, really vulnerable. I had always said before I got injured, I had always said if I was ever disabled, I would just get a ticket out of here.
But something kicked in. Something that turned all that negative thought to positive energy. There was life in the old dog yet.
But when the doctor told me that I was paralyzed and I'd never walk again, I replied, so where do we go from here? So you really don't know what your reaction will be until you're actually in the situation.
Such was the stubborn determination that drove George into a life of independence. Getting on the tractor by using a hoist mounted in his garage is one of the rare occasions where he does require assistance to get some things done.
Okay.
It's a difference seeing you, trying to get things done on your own without having to, rely on people.
The tractor itself was specially customized to meet his needs.
This is the upper part of the upper frame of a power chair. The chute on the front is controlled remotely. Here I have steering knobs so that I can turn the steering wheel with my arm instead of gripping the steering wheel with my hands. It has a hydrostatic transmission, which means I don't have to push in a clutch with my foot. If you want to go forward, you just slide the lever ahead. If you want to stop, you bring it back to neutral. And if you want to back up, you just slide it back. And I guess the only other safety feature I have is I've added a seatbelt.
While George awaits the delivery of his specially adapted van, he relies on a taxi to take him out. Today, he's on a visit to the Stan Cassidy Center for some physiotherapy. A few hours later, it's home time.
When's the van coming, George?
It's supposed to be next week.
Next week.
Yeah. Last week it was supposed to be this week.
That's right.
George relies on regular visits to the clinic every Tuesday for rehab.
I'm having problems with my shoulder right now, so we're coming and doing some light exercise to see what movements I can do without inflaming the muscles.
As George ponders what next, are there any regrets?
Oh, of course. My mom and I would still own a special care home if I hadn't climbed that tree. I had been working on my own for about 4 years doing renovations, and I was loving it. I was making good money. I had, my customer base was growing. I had a position at the Fredericton Sheriff's Department waiting for me if I hadn't gotten hurt. That was a job that I really enjoyed. So yes, definitely a lot of regrets.
And now,
I think I'm a better person now.